Welcome back. After writing many noteworthy books like Spring, Sponge, For God's Sake, Nawab Nudes and Noodles, advertising veteran Ambi Parameswaran is launching a new book this week, All the World's a Stage, a personal branding story. The book actually works like a roadmap towards what, why and how of personal brand building. To tell us more, we are joined in by the author himself on the show. Congratulations on yet another book. I have read all your books cover to cover, and this one is much different as compared to the other books. Other books were laced with case studies and examples from the work that you have done over the years, worked on different brands, and those examples were there in the other books. But this one is sort of like a fictional story kind of a thing that you have written. Tell us more about it, and also the title is very interesting, All the World's Stage, which is borrowed from Shakespeare. Yes, so
Okay.
tell us more about that.
So the idea of this book came up during the lockdown, and I got a call a few days later from IIT Madras saying, look, we want to do something for our alumni, can you deliver a talk? So one talk I gave on branding, what is called Branding 101. Second talk I gave on living the brand, which is B2B branding. The third talk I gave on building your personal brand. Literally a week later, I got a call from someone who said, look, we attended that talk on personal branding. Can you do that for our, people? And that led to another talk, another talk, another talk. And then I said, look, there is something happening with personal branding. So I started collecting, articles like, books and articles, started reading them. And then I broadly had an idea that I should write a book on personal branding.
And here, of course, there is a character called Ambi, but you have mentioned right at the beginning of the book how personal branding helped you when you no longer were a CEO of an XYZ organization. Can you share how can an individual build a personal brand while working for a company or an organization?
Okay, I think in certain professions, building your personal brand helps your organization, right? So
advertising for sure. We have seen how mustache or a topi has really worked.
I mean, the fact that going and giving talks, meeting new people, writing articles, and let's say coming on your show, giving interviews, all this helps you as an individual. It also helps your company because you're talking about your campaigns, etc., etc. It helps your company. So it helps both ways. The dicey thing there is, and I think I've discussed that in the book, is that when do they start operating at cross purpose? And that's something one has to watch out for. I cannot, if I'm working in a company, I cannot build my brand at the cost of my company's brand. So I always have to be clear, this is what my company stands for, and whatever I say or do on my personal space should pull in the same direction. Like for example, if I'm working in a company, I cannot go and write an article which is defamatory about a brand we work on, right? It's not correct, right? So I don't do that. But if you are able to do this, ride this, double header, the two-horse thing, then when you get out of a full-time job, you can then have your horse and ride that horse. It's good to have something addition to work as a passion, because through that you will meet a lot of interesting people, which may end up helping you in your work as well. Like for example, you are an anchor, you are a television journalist, you are a recognized person, but you also have a second life. You are an athlete, right? You run marathon, you run God knows how many marathons, how many of those mountain climbing stuff you've done. That's your passion.
Correct.
But through that, you can meet very interesting different people.
Yeah.
So when you use the term networking, a lot of people say, yeah, networking is very cheapskate. Like you go to a party and distribute your visiting card. That's not networking. The real networking is developing a parallel group of people whom you're with, who you're passionately involved with, and therefore you're spending time, effort. It could be like what you're doing. It could be a running group. It could be an NGO. It could be an educational institution you're involved with, or it could be a music circle. It could be a painting circle, it could be anything.
Finally, before we go, who is this book for? Who should read it?
In the book, I presented one character as Ambi, right? I mean, all the other characters are fictional. And I've also mentioned that this Ambi in this book is much younger than me, right? Much younger, 20 years younger than me. The reason is that I wanted this conversation to be among, say, 4 or 5 people who are in the 45 kind of an age group, right? So this book is meant for anyone from the age of, let's say, 20, 21 to 40, 45. I'm not saying that if you're beyond 45, you can't build your personal brand. You can, but the earlier the start, the better it is.
Ambi, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us and sharing these insights about personal branding.
Thank you very much.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.